it's Corey.
And Kyra. We're here from Above the Bar,
where every week we have conversations and libations with a legal twist.
So about 4 or 5 years ago, we passed the bar. So here we are with you guys, talking about current events and sharing some of our favorite libations.
Hey!
So this week, Corey made our cocktail of the week.
Yeah, we have to send a super, super huge shout out to Martell. They sent us a really fun box of goodies. And we're bringing the product of said goodies to you guys with a spicy ginger mule. So we made mules before, and mules are always super fun with the ginger beer. It usually is pretty refreshing, great summer drink. But we're adding a winter twist to it with the cognac, which is Martell cognac. It's a little bit bolder of a flavor, so it's delicious too. But it still has the same basic ingredients of ginger beer and lime. And this one, because it's spicy, where did you get the spicy from?
Ooh.
Well, we got it from a little jalapeno syrup. So,
but let me add, sometimes ginger or the mule can be spicy on its own, depending on if you add ginger or how much ginger you add to it. So ginger sometimes can be spicy. The jalapeno just really kicks it up a notch.
Definitely kicks it up a notch. And if you don't like it, you can be very sparing on it to give it a balanced flavor. Or you can use the spicy syrup with regular syrup. So you can do like something sweet to balance the spiciness of the jalapeno.
Yes. And speaking of balancing, what made me some balancing? Spice and kicking, all that other good stuff. Let's jump right into today's topic.
Yes. So we missed last week, but the world went
Happy
on.
New Year.
Happy New Year. Ooh, I wish I had a little blower. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
But the world went on. And, sometimes you make a New Year resolution and you say, next year I'm not going to pick a fight with nobody, or next year I'm going to be on my best behavior. And then just before you know it,
you fall into the trap of your old ways.
You fall into the trap. People always set traps for you, and you have to know how to avoid them. If you don't, what happens? You end up like President Trump.
The same thing you were doing last
Back
year.
on Twitter.
We only 4 days in.
Fighting. It was like
happy.
2 days in.
Yeah.
You back in it, having a fight with the dictator of North Korea.
Talking about whose button bigger, whose button breaks, and my missiles can actually hit your land. Okay, here we go.
So there was rumors and there were reports that the leader of North Korea said that he had missiles within range of America, and he could press his buttons and fire the missiles, and they could, shoot America down.
And people were making jokes about this because last year in April they did launch a missile, but it actually hit their own land. I don't know what happened, but it hit North Korea's land in their own territory.
Sometimes you have something, you ever have something you never used, and then you try to use it, and you say, hey, that didn't work like I thought it was going to work.
Just like your resolutions. You may start and you may fall off the horse and mess up and go back to your old ways, but hey, just get back on and try it again. Don't let that discourage you. Still talk trash like, hey, I still got missiles that way.
Oh, yeah. So, in response, because
Trump wasn't let that slide.
Don't let him catch wind that you said that anything of yours is bigger than anything of his, because everything of his is the biggest, even his hands, which are bigger than a Smurf's.
What's up with you? I didn't know where she was going with that one. But yes, so he was saying, my button is bigger, my button stays on my desk, and
it works.
It works.
I mean, and I think the concern from this is if we really are considering him to be a very dangerous dictator, then why kind of go with the back and forth? Everyone knows the power of America is what to be expected. So it's kind of like going to the corner store and picking a fight with like the
smallest person.
Right. Why is it even worth your response? There has to be tons of things that you have to tweet
use your energy for.
But
you want to be the biggest kid on the block and pick the smallest one. Not the smallest. You want to pick the smallest one and just show that you can beat them up for what purpose?
And really, when you talk about like international relations, let's not even get started on everything that was going on with their disapproval of him accepting a new Israeli.
Oh yeah. The treaty and
and him going there and saying that he's accepting
but apparently he doesn't care, and North Korea doesn't care either. And because they've said that they've gotten plenty of sanctions from the UN with regards to their development with these nuclear bombs and nuclear weapons, and they're like, I don't care, you can just keep giving me sanctions.
Well, I just think it's petty, because even when he got the sanctions there, everyone said they disagreed with his acceptance of a new capital. And he was like, well, I'm going to take all my money. I mean, that's really not how you solve things. It's okay. I mean, not in the case, I'm not talking in the case of North Korea, but it's okay in general for people to disagree with you. I mean, it can't be that much of a threat to your ego that anytime somebody disagrees with you, you're like, you have to respond. You have to tell them, no, you have to agree with me. Like, you can't strong arm a lot of people into doing that, because what it does do, and what it is doing to a lot of the countries is they're saying, what do we do now if we don't have the relationship with America that we didn't have?
Right.
But that also changes the structure of, if we're considering ourselves a world power, what does that mean?
Right.
What influence do we have over other countries, especially in a time of need? Like, if there was a war with North Korea, we would need allies. And you can't burn up the bridge and then call people like, hey, I'm touching you.
But apparently, I mean, if you're loony like Trump, then you believe that you can stiff arm somebody into doing something, and you take credit for stuff that really is not your intentional will or will doing. And so he takes credit for North Korea and South Korea when they come to the table and have a conversation, because if he had not taken such a stern approach with not backing down from North Korea, then these two countries that had fought for so long would not be coming to the table to talk. Yeah, no, that's not really how it works. But if you're loony in the head, then maybe you agree with that.
I don't know. And this is just, I mean, again, we're just 4 days in. This is Thursday of the new year. And
2018.
This is still, I mean, it's so much going on. I mean, I don't know if it's purposeful. And I saw someone saying, like, maybe he's trying to distract people from way more important issues than this.
Good point.
Because he is the chief distractor to me. He's always, whenever he says look this way, it's like that trick where somebody goes whoop, and you look down your shirt and they lift it up. It's always something that you're missing by paying so much attention to that. And if we haven't seen all the news media covering his catfight with his former BFF, Steve Bannon, I don't know what's being covered, because that is all over the place. Oh yes, the two former besties are no longer kicking it. Now, we know that Bannon got fired from the White House last year, and at that time he was like, yay, it's going to give me the opportunity to push more for my platform, going back to Breitbart. I'm going to go back. And he was all smiles with President Trump, and President Trump seemed to be all smiles with him. Not anymore. There's been a new book out. It's called Fire and Fury.
Fire and Fury in Trump's White House.
And there have been excerpts released. And a lot of these excerpts are from Steve Bannon, and he's just running his mouth. Not unlike a lot of former aides of Trump who they like to talk. They like to talk. And the fact that there's infighting ain't no
shows right, exactly. There has to be some truth in that somewhere.
Yeah, they certainly was well known that certain members of the cabinet don't like each other. They not vibing, they don't have the same vision, and they don't get along. So some of these excerpts, I mean, he's talking nothing really I've heard other than like some little silly comments about Trump and his kind of strange habits with obsession with McDonald's, where he sleeps, stuff like that. Nothing has been like really like, I don't think it would make them stop being friends or BFFs.
What?
But about his family?
Right.
Oh, yes.
Right.
He's, according to the quotes of this book, he's spilling the beans about Don Jr., about Ivanka, about a lot of his kids.
He's definitely called them. Person called Trump stupid, dumb, idiot. He went to say that Ivanka's dumb as a pile of bricks, and called his son and said that he was pretty much somewhat of a traitor, and had committed treasonous or somewhere he had created with regards to saying that his relations with Russia, and that he did in fact make some type of arrangement with them with regards to exposing Hillary and these emails and all this other nonsense.
Yeah, and it's a meeting that I think everybody has questioned, and before everybody saying, Don Jr. saying, oh no, when I found out what it was about, I left. Trying to point the finger between Jared Kushner and Don Jr. and who was responsible for bringing this meeting together. But in the book, according to the book, Bannon is saying there's no way that Don Jr. didn't sat in Trump Towers, the same place where his dad was, and then try to bring these people directly to Donald Trump.
Exactly.
He's saying no way that didn't happen. And again, these are quotes for a book that didn't even come out. So guess what? I know this man. Now, he may not be on everybody's favorite list, but I know he's thinking, man, when this book drops,
which is next week,
money's going to pour in, because these are just the excerpts. We don't even know what everything the book says.
But then there were other excerpts that other people in Trump's cabinet or on his team that they also, made allegations of him being not so intelligent, dumb, stupid, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But now they're saying I didn't say that, or some are saying that I said it, but that was off the record. So,
what does that mean?
But when you talk to anyone in journalism or anything like that, when you say off the record, if you trust that it's really off the record, you might want to second guess your thought process.
I mean, and the guy, they have at least documented. He's saying, like, I just sat in the White House. I just had seat. But there are it's recognized that he was in the White House doing interviews and things like that.
Particularly with Bannon. With the other people, I'm not so sure. But with Bannon, they said that he would be in his office all the time.
Yeah.
How they did not question what he was doing and what they were working on, I don't know. But Trump is now saying that Bannon really didn't have wasn't close to me. We never had one-on-one meetings.
Yeah, and he's like,
he's blaming Bannon.
He's like, I won the presidency all by myself, and Bannon was just kind of like there, but not really important. The same thing he said about everybody else who's been investigated. Like, oh shoot.
Exactly. And now he's trying to put the reason why he supported Moore, who was running for office in Alabama. And now these allegations came out with regards to him having inappropriate relationships with younger women. He's like, it was Bannon's fault why I was supporting him and all this other stuff. And it's like, really, dude? Okay, so now you want to throw the blame on him as you're kicking him out the door because y'all aren't cool anymore.
Yes, but his tweet definitely ended like, the only thing you did help with is to help lose the Alabama seat. That's how he ended that tweet of madness. So it's surprising. What's really surprising to me is because Bannon seems like a fighter. He seems like really odd, but he still has thrown his support behind President Trump.
That's really weird.
Even on like his radio podcast or radio.
That's really weird.
Program, he was like, I still support Trump and his agenda. And like I said, I think maybe he was just like making little silly remarks, or maybe together they're just trying to again distract us from something else.
I don't know. Their relationship is really odd.
But other Republicans are running from Bannon.
Other Republicans are quite happy that he's no longer in office. They were reportedly sending messages like, if you hadn't already heard, smiley face, Bannon's no longer around. So that makes me question, like, okay, so what was his impact while he was there? Who was he talking to if he allegedly wasn't talking to Trump? Like, if he didn't have impact directly with Trump and then nobody else liked him, then... And his role was chief strategist, which is somewhat of an important role, but if you're the chief strategist, but you're not talking with Trump, like, Trump, the story isn't adding up. Like, come on, man, which nothing else does add up. But you're right that Republicans were running.
Everybody is running from him. So it's a question of where does Steve Bannon go from here? Because, it may not have done much to Trump in reality, because we all know that.
We know who Trump is.
Well, no, we know that most people who are big supporters of his believe that the media is lots of fake news anyway. So we don't know what the impact will be to Trump, but we do know that people are fleeing, even his allies, even the people who are pro-Bannon are like fleeing. And what is this going to mean for the candidates that he's chosen to support as, hey, guess what's coming up? Midterm elections.
And so let's talk about that, because with Bannon, he has a strong conservative vote or following, that's kind of attached to him, that he brought to the Trump administration or to Trump followers, and how he's also kind of tied them to these other Republicans that have attached themselves to him.
Yeah.
So are they still going to follow Bannon? And if Bannon, disassociates himself with certain officials, are they going to still, like, I don't know. I don't know
because, they are in such a muddy place right now, because after, like, supporting, like, Rob Moore, especially some firm conservative supporters who flee from everything, there's, this is the Bible Belt, all this stuff, and you're able to, like, look past this, then where do you stand? Like, what do you stand on? And, you know, there's so much going on about the tribalism of politics now, where you just, like, stand with your tribe. Even if your tribe goes, like,
it's sinking, right?
Yeah, you just say, like, I don't know, I'm just with them. I don't know. He's such a little girl. I don't know. I'm Republican. I'm gonna vote for him. You know. So, you know, I think it's gonna be a lot of reevaluation that are going to be needed. The things that got Trump into office and that political momentum is wavering, and they're going to have to figure out what to do from here, because what worked may not work, and it certainly it could change the whole layout.
And it's not the best timing for them to split and to have that separation of, you know, who follows who and whatnot, especially with a lot of people being upset with the new tax reform. So that some people are already upset with Trump and like, why did you do this?
Yeah.
So just interesting to see.
I don't think people will really be mad. The people who get more tax returns, like more money on their tax returns,
you're right.
I do not think they're going to be mad. It won't be until, because most of these extra amounts that are going back to people are timed out in the bill. So it's not going to be until 4 years from now when you say, hi, I used to get $500 back and now I get $250 back, and what happened? And because they're just only the standard deduction, how can you change it? So I think that's when people are going to first have their like, or if there's a recession and then the rich people really get rich, like rich.
Yeah.
Which
speaking of getting rich,
yes,
and having a nice
I don't want
to
work
come up. Did you know that you cannot marry somebody? Just be dating them, maybe engaged, and sue them and get paid.
So we mainly want to, it started, I pulled this from Cameron and his girlfriend are having a public breakup right now. And they're both interviewing, and, you know, I think they broke up. You know how you have like a back and forth? They've been together like 10 years off and on. And you break up kind of like, I'm not fooling with you, but, you know, you do that like every 3 weeks. And then the next thing you know, somebody's like skipping down the beach with somebody else. And you're like, hey!
We broke up this time.
Hey! So Cameron and his girlfriend, I think her name is Juju. Of 10 years.
I think it might have been over. People were saying over a decade, so.
Oh, maybe more than 10 years. So, fiance, actually, they were engaged.
Oh, they were engaged?
I thought they were engaged. Let me not lie. I don't know. But they were together for a long time. So, if you were together 10 years, I'm gonna give you the credit and say you were engaged. So, she was they broke up, and his new hot thing, started like punking her on social media, bullying on the gram, like he with me now, which is always a bad, because you know people been together for 10 years. It's surprising that they go back. You know, they might go back. You might be the butt of the joke, but you know,
or you may not.
But it got me thinking, like, what's due to you? You given 10 years. Everybody's saying like you're supposed to hold out for this man while he betters himself and gets his life together and goes to jail, comes back out of jail, and you're supposed to stay and wait. No. So what happens? You did all that, and now 10 years later,
y'all separate and you have nothing to show. I mean, let me not say you have nothing to show for it, but as far as that relationship,
memories. But so let's all read from the book of Mariah. What should you do?
So in chapter 1, verse 2, Mariah has taught us the lesson that you do not just walk away from the table with nothing. If someone has inconvenienced you by getting engaged to them and uprooting your life, then you deserve some change for that. So Mariah Carey recently won a settlement with her ex-fiance that she was awarded. I didn't get an exact number. I got somewhere between 5 and 10 million, which is no chump change. I mean, I can get one, I'll be happy. So she was awarded between 5 and 10 million, and it's because she sued for an inconvenience fee. And she stated that he kind of persuaded her to uproot her life from New York to move to LA so that he could be closer to his children, and that cost her millions. And then when they broke up, there was some incident that happened on a yacht off of Greece where he did something that was crazy to her assistant that required her to cancel the leg of her South American tour, and that cost her some more millions. So she initially wanted $50 million. And they just met in 2014, started kind of, I guess, being out in the open in 2015, 16, and it ended in 2017. And she wanted $50 million. But she got the number $50 million because of their prenup negotiations when they were, still planning on getting married.
Well, I mean, I think part of it is okay. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that means she was making lots of money, and he kept her from making some of the money she was already going to make.
Right.
And so I would just say this sounds like something where you need proof that you were going to make some money, or it cost you a lot of money, like moving across town to a new apartment.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna cut it. I'm not gonna cut it.
Maybe it will. I don't know.
And two, also just wanted to let y'all know that she did keep that 35 carat diamond ring that she wears on her middle finger, which is allegedly valued at over $10 million, just on top of the $5 to $10 million that she got in cash. But apparently, back in the day, up through the 1900s, I think you could sue for breach of promise to marry. And there are some states where it's kind of still legal. I know Georgia, a lady sued her fiance, was awarded $50,000 because she was able to provide evidence that he never really intended to marry her. Because when he proposed to her, he was still he was having an affair with somebody else. And they eventually ended the relationship, and so she got $50,000, but by proving that he never really intended to marry her, which I was like,
Dang.
Hey,
okay. A lot of
money. But Cali has a rule where you can kind of sue. There's grounds for non-marital settlements. So, let's say everybody has seen the movie Waiting to Exhale, and Bernadine.
That little man of hers.
Angela Bassett, and she was married.
Yeah,
she was married. But even if she was in that same situation and she had not been married, she still would have been entitled to a settlement because she was his lover and his secretary. She had foregone all of her dreams and aspirations for his, and you can actually get paid for that. Or if you're a man and you're paying for this girl's, for her to live with you all the time, and she ain't paying no rent, if y'all separate, then you're entitled to some of that.
More power to it, because I like anything that makes people double think. If this is not the person, it's not your forever person. I want something other than me and my persistence to keep you maybe I shouldn't do this because she might sue me. So I like that there's some.
Yeah.
I mean, just sometimes you have to cut the cord if you don't really know. And that somebody's looking at you, dreaming, I want to get married, or you have that 10-year engagement, and it's because you're not really sure about any details. Cut the cord,
and
finish it.
It's interesting that Cali has it because there are so many wealthy people in California.
Yeah.
So it's so that you can't just greatly enrich someone else's life without them enriching yours. So it's hey, if you're in California and somebody just looking off of you, know that you might be able to cash in, but then if they can't pay, then hey.
Well, you know what? While we're talking about California, this is super interesting to me because just today, so the first of the year, Cali has the first recreational marijuana use in the country. So if you like marijuana, you don't just need your medicinal marijuana card in California anymore.
So
New
Year's
do it for the gram. Oh yes, New Year's was
literally.
Literally, they was having a good time out in Cali, and then this dropped. Jeff Sessions has changed an Obama era policy because right now, depending on the state guidelines, a state can vote to legalize marijuana, medicinal, recreational, but they want. It's a state right. But federal law is still prohibited. It's still against the law. So that means that you could be abiding state law, violating federal law, and prosecuted federally. If you're in a state like California, because you're just going around, you getting some recreational drugs, you go to Jack in the Box and get the snack meal, the Snoop snack meal for your 420. You're having a good day, and then the federales come and get you. Because what are you doing? It's against federal law. So Jeff Sessions recently rolled back an Obama-era provision that said, hey, if the state's okay with it, we're not going to prosecute. No. Jeff Sessions is saying, no, I don't like that no more. I think that it's still against the law, and we're rolling that back. So I've seen like the senator of Colorado, he's pissed. He's saying, I mean, this is adding billions of dollars to certain
revenue
economies, certain states. California, Colorado are two of the states that are getting lots of money now because of the industry of marijuana. And now, can you imagine? You sold everything, you're a farmer, or you're dealing with big quantities of marijuana, and that's a big federal violation.
Which the federal prosecution carries much more weight than a state prosecution would. So to think of, you may think, okay, if I get pinched, on a statewide, on a local level, okay, I may do this or that, but it's no big time or no big fine. But on a federal level, like, that's definitely exacerbated. So people are very hesitant now, or some may be hesitant, let me say that, with regards to proceeding. And then this has an impact on businesses.
Well, because
and their business goals and
because it's public. If it's a business, if you start it, it's not like the feds are searching for you and they're going through warehouses and seeing where you're growing. Like, it's you. They just go to your address and knock and say, "Ding dong." Do you happen to have 10 tons of marijuana back there? Yeah.
Exactly.
You're under arrest. Gotcha.
Exactly. So this definitely it goes back to what you were saying, how this impacts those local economies, because now the businesses are going to be hesitant with regards to promoting themselves, marketing, even being in business. So where does that leave this whole legalization in California with regards to recreation?
I don't think California has as much to worry about, because I think the federal agents in California will be in line with the state. But I think it's states where it's more new that will have a bigger problem, because federal agents may not be in line. Like, obviously the whole state of California, the whole state of Colorado are in it, right? It's a part of their economy now. But there are other states where it's becoming legalized. New Jersey's coming. I think New York is coming. Where maybe it's, the citizens are saying they want that, but federal agents may not be in line with that. They may be already pursuing cases of people who are doing it. And so where does that leave you? Where does it leave room for this economy to grow in these states where this is a brand new thing and you don't want to go to jail?
And I'm wondering if there are any kind of underlying kickbacks because there's sometimes these underlying kickbacks with regards to regulations and bringing so many people to prosecution for certain things because they want to get this kind of law rolling and in effect. So for, like you say, those newer states and those newer communities where the federal agents aren't in line, then they'll be more prone to go ahead and make these arrests because they may get some type of incentive on the back end. So
definitely. So I think I don't think it's gonna be the big states. I think if you're in California, you're still okay. I don't think the federal agents are pursuing you just because you have a couple little ounces in your bag, but
they might want to protect themselves.
Maybe that's how you use peace offering. We don't know, but there's more to come.
But don't bribe them.
That was not an encouragement to bribe a federal officer or any other officer. Don't do it.
No.
Choose life.
No.
Yes. I encourage life.
Yes.
I encourage freedom.
Yes.
So don't forget that if you love us, you should follow us.
Yes.
We want to hear from you. Not only do we want to hear from you, we want to make sure that you get us in the frequency that we're giving it to you, right? Mm-hmm. So you can follow us on our podcast on iTunes. You can follow us on our YouTube channel. So if you want to see us, you're a visual person, come see us. You can go to Google Play. You can go to our Instagram account. You can go to our Facebook account. All of them are Above the Bar Podcast, except for IG, which is Above the Bar PC.
Correct.
And get in on the conversation. We're taking suggestions for drinks, so you'll see some Jameson coming up. You'll see a French martini coming up. And anything else you like, reach out. Tell us that.
And not just on the cocktail tip, but if you have something topic-wise that you want to talk about, drop a comment, send us a message, let us know. We're always looking for new topics about what's going on. Let's talk about it.
Or get in on our group.
I was just about to say that, yep. Go to Conversations and Libations on Facebook. There, we talk about some of everything. It's not just current events from a legal perspective, but it's just Conversations and Libations. If you have a great cocktail recipe, share it there. If you have something crazy going on a personal tip or even just something you saw on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, drop it in. Let's talk about it. Cause some crazy stuff going on.
Cray. So it's the beginning of the year, so we look forward to tons and tons of great conversations, great libations, and more of you and us together.
Until next time, guys, try this and let us know if you like it.
Cheers.
Cheers.